Why do 75% of conflict zones use innocent civilians as pawns? This is a question that has haunted humanity for decades. The, the use of civilians, especially the most vulnerable among us, as tools in the theater of war is a tactic as old as conflict itself. But what drives this inhumane strategy? Is it a calculated move to gain a strategic advantage, or a desperate act of a cornered force? The answer is complex and deeply unsettling. In many cases, it is a combination of both, driven by a ruthless calculus that values military objectives over human lives. This grim reality is starkly evident in the ongoing conflict in Gaza, where the Mosquito Protocol has emerged as a particularly egregious example of this dark tactic. Today, we reveal the dark truth behind the Mosquito Protocol in Gaza. This term, which sounds almost innocuous, belies a sinister practice that has left countless lives shattered. The Mosquito Protocol is not just a military strategy. It is a manifestation of a deeper moral and ethical crisis. It represents a systematic approach to warfare that dehumanizes and exploits the very people it should protect. The Gaza Strip, a densely populated area with a long history of conflict, has become a testing ground for this brutal tactic. The impact on the civilian population has been devastating, with families torn apart, communities destroyed, and a pervasive sense of fear and insecurity that lingers long after the bombs have stopped falling. Buckle up, because this is a story you won't forget. The Mosquito Protocol is not just a footnote in the annals of military history. It is a stark reminder of the lengths to which some will go to achieve their objectives. The testimonies we have gathered paint a harrowing picture of life under this regime. They reveal a world where fear is a constant companion, where every day is a struggle for survival, and where the line between life and death is perilously thin. The stories of those who have lived through this ordeal are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, but they also serve as a chilling indictment of the tactics used by the Israeli army in Gaza. According to new testimonies from an Israeli soldier and 5 Palestinian survivors, the Mosquito Protocol was a common tactic used by the Israeli army in Gaza. These accounts provide a rare glimpse into the inner workings of this controversial strategy. The Israeli soldier, who has chosen to remain anonymous for fear of retribution, describes a culture of impunity and a disregard for human life that is deeply troubling. The Palestinian survivors, meanwhile, recount their experiences with a mixture of anger, fear, and sorrow. Their stories are a stark reminder of the human cost of this conflict, and they underscore the urgent need for accountability and justice. The details are chilling. Imagine being ordered into a room full of dangers, with potential explosives hidden everywhere, while soldiers stood back, waiting to see if you would survive. This is not a scene from a dystopian novel. It is a reality for many in Gaza. The Mosquito Protocol involves using civilians as human shields, forcing them into dangerous situations to clear the way for military operations. This tactic not only puts innocent lives at risk, but also violates international law and basic principles of human decency. The psychological toll on those who are subjected to this treatment is immense, leaving deep scars that may never fully heal. The aftermath of these operations is a landscape of devastation. Buildings reduced to rubble, streets littered with debris, and a community left to pick up the pieces. The physical destruction is matched by the emotional and psychological trauma inflicted on the survivors. Families are torn apart, children are left orphaned, and the social fabric of the community is irreparably damaged. The long-term consequences of this strategy are profound, affecting not just the immediate victims, but also future generations. The Mosquito Protocol is a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the urgent need for a more humane approach to conflict resolution. This isn't just about war. This is about broken morality. The use of civilians as human shields is a gross violation of international law and a betrayal of the most basic principles of humanity. It is a tactic that dehumanizes both the victims and the perpetrators, reducing people to mere pawns in a deadly game. The Mosquito Protocol is a stark reminder of the moral and ethical challenges that arise in times of conflict. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of war and the lengths to which some will go to achieve their objectives. It is a call to action for all of us to demand accountability and to work towards a more just and humane world. Using civilians, especially children, as human shields is not only illegal under international law, but also deeply and disturbingly wrong. The innocence of children should be protected at all costs, yet in conflict zones like Gaza, they are often the most vulnerable. The Mosquito Protocol has seen children forced into dangerous situations, their lives used as bargaining chips in a deadly game. The psychological impact on these young minds is profound, with many suffering from long-term trauma and emotional scars. The international community must take a stand against this abhorrent practice and work to protect the most vulnerable among us. One former detainee recounted being shot in the leg while being used as a human shield, highlighting the very real and dangerous consequences of this illegal practice. This individual's story is just one of many that illustrate the brutal reality of the Mosquito Protocol. The physical injuries are often severe, but the emotional and psychological wounds can be even more debilitating. The trauma of being used as a human shield, of being forced into harm's way, leaves deep scars that can last a lifetime. These stories are a powerful reminder of the urgent need for accountability and justice. Despite these harrowing accounts, the Israeli military denies these allegations, claiming such actions are strictly against their code of conduct. The official stance is one of denial and deflection, with military spokespeople insisting that any violations are isolated incidents and not indicative of a broader policy. However, the consistency and detail of the testimonies we have gathered suggest otherwise. The accounts of the Mosquito Protocol are too numerous and too similar to be dismissed as mere anomalies. They point to a systematic approach that prioritizes military objectives over human lives, and that raises serious questions about the conduct of the Israeli army in Gaza. However, the consistency and detail of the testimonies, coupled with photographic evidence, raise serious concerns. The evidence we have collected paints a damning picture of the Mosquito Protocol and its impact on the civilian population of Gaza. The testimonies are corroborated by photographs and documents that provide a chilling glimpse into the reality of this tactic. The evidence is compelling and demands a thorough and impartial investigation. The international community must take these allegations seriously and work to hold those responsible accountable for their actions. The gravity of these allegations cannot be overstated. The use of civilians as human shields is a gross violation of international law and a betrayal of the most basic principles of humanity. It is a tactic that dehumanizes both the victims and the perpetrators, reducing people to mere pawns in a deadly game. The Mosquito Protocol is a stark reminder of the moral and ethical challenges that arise in times of conflict. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of war and the lengths to which some will go to achieve their objectives. It is a call to action for all of us to demand accountability and to work towards a more just and humane world. The international community must demand a thorough and impartial investigation into these claims to ensure accountability and prevent future atrocities. The allegations surrounding the Mosquito Protocol are too serious to be ignored. They demand a response from the global community, a commitment to justice and accountability. The United Nations and other international bodies have a crucial role to play in investigating these claims and holding those responsible to account. The victims of the Mosquito Protocol deserve justice, and the world must stand with them in their fight for accountability. But there is even more to this story. What happens when soldiers who refuse to follow these orders speak out? The Mosquito Protocol has not only affected the civilian population of Gaza, but also the soldiers who are ordered to carry it out. Some soldiers have refused to follow these orders, risking their careers and their lives to stand up for what is right. These whistleblowers have faced retaliation and ostracism, but their courage and integrity are a powerful reminder of the importance of individual conscience in times of conflict. Their stories are a testament to the power of moral courage and the need for accountability and justice. And what can the international community do to prevent such horrors from happening again? The Mosquito Protocol is a stark reminder of the need for a more humane approach to conflict resolution. The international community must work together to prevent such atrocities from occurring in the future. This requires a commitment to justice and accountability, as well as a focus on protecting the most vulnerable among us. It also requires a recognition of the importance of individual conscience and the need to support those who stand up for what is right. The Mosquito Protocol is a call to action for all of us to work towards a more just and humane world. Join me in the next episode as we dive even deeper into the controversy surrounding the Mosquito Protocol. We will explore the broader implications of this tactic, the impact on the civilian population of Gaza, and the efforts to hold those responsible accountable. We will also hear from more survivors and whistleblowers, whose stories provide a powerful reminder of the human cost of this conflict. The Mosquito Protocol is a stark reminder of the need for a more humane approach to conflict resolution, and it is a call to action for all of us to work towards a more just and humane world.